Hey, you guys, welcome back. Oh, we have a new button here. What is this money button?
Uh-oh. Money, honey.
Have you seen it?
No, that's new. I don't even
Mhm.
see it now. Maybe I'll see it when I'm hosting the StreamYard next time. I don't see it on my screen.
Yeah, you can actually start monetizing, look like.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, well, welcome back to Real Chill Conversations. And you got your girl Dominique, and you have Brenna in the building.
Yes, y'all. I will be showing my face next week. I thought we were doing this tomorrow, but my week was hectic, so I got my days confused. But Dominique is on here looking cute, representing for the both of us. So y'all stare at her and just listen to my voice.
Okay. Well, I really wanted to hit this topic today because some people just refuse to be loved correctly.
Yes,
And I'm not going to say everybody again, I'm going to say some people. But
right.
I do believe that most of us do go through that at some point in our lives. And what does this mean? Well, this is definitely a reality that
Yes,
some people have to deal with.
yes.
And again, I found myself in that position as
Mm-hmm.
well,
Yep.
where I was, I felt it was like I just couldn't believe it
Yeah.
when someone is trying to love you
Right.
correctly and you're
Mm-hmm.
not receptive to that.
Yes.
So I did wanted to bring this up because I feel like a lot of us go through it. And
Mm-hmm.
we end up losing somebody that may be of actual value.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to bring it up. Some people resist true and sincere love that is being offered to them in a healthy manner. I'm not talking about nothing toxic here,
Of
okay?
course. Of
Um,
course.
so let's talk about it. What kind of people do you feel like experience this?
I think people that experience this are people that have been through trauma. I feel like it's people that have grown up and witnessed toxic relationships, so they don't really know what a healthy relationship looks like. So they, in turn, don't have the self confidence and the self esteem to recognize the way in which they should be loved, i.e., being loved correctly. And I
I'm
think,
glad you say that because you said something very important. And I think that all of us at some point go through toxic relationships.
yep,
So when we end up getting with someone who is really trying to love on us and really express how they feel to us, it sometimes, whatever experience you had in your past, you're more than likely gonna bring it in some type of way in the new relationship.
you'll bring it into the new relationship. And part of that is after the experience of being in a toxic relationship, for some reason, there's lots of things that we can get into on that, but it's almost like you accept it and you come to just kind of say to yourself, I guess I just don't deserve anything different or anything better. So the way that you're being treated, even though it's not healthy and it's in a toxic situation or an environment, you feel like that's all that you're worthy of. And that just comes from, like I said, the lack of self esteem and the lack of confidence, and really recognizing how valuable and how lovable you truly are. So a lot of us will find ourselves in situations where there are people trying to love on us the correct way and in a healthy way, and we tend to self-sabotage that situation. We tend to push that person away. We tend to, do goofy things and silly things. At least that's what that's what my habit was, before I broke that cycle, was that I would try to find a reason to see
Exactly.
if this person is going to stick with me through whatever situation and scenario. If I do this, is he going to really still stick around, or is he going to just be out the door? Is he 1 foot in, 1 foot out? I don't know. So it's almost like I'm putting that person through unfairly through. Let me just clarify. It's unfair that I'm putting this person through all these unnecessary tests when all they're just trying to do is just love me.
And I don't want to make anyone feel bad about this, okay? Because I want to express the fact that we're all humans.
Absolutely.
So let's remember that
Yep.
none of us are perfect. We sometimes come off, you know, like giving to others what we have experienced in the past. Some
Yes.
of us recognize it, some of us don't, and some of
Mm-hmm.
us take a while to recognize it,
Right.
but we eventually do.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because this is not for bashing anyone just because you have past trauma or you've
Mm-hmm.
been through, hard situations, because I believe that everybody, that if you're open to love, some people are not, but if you are, then you deserve that,
Right.
to be loved correctly.
Yep. You absolutely
So
do.
I just feel like all of us been through some type of trauma, whether it's in our household with our
Mm-hmm.
parents, or if you didn't have any parents, or your past relationship. It's just because everybody's relationship is different.
It
So
is.
and everybody, all of us, we all have toxic traits, okay?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's not
Yes.
like we don't. So
Mm-hmm.
please don't think that you're inferior because this is happening. But what I do want us to do is like sit back, think for a minute, and evaluate your situation, because you don't want the your person to is trying to love you correctly,
Yes.
trying to do trying to meet you halfway to make you
Mm-hmm.
happy, and then you're not receiving that. So
Right.
because sometimes we don't receive that, we end up losing that person,
We do. We end up losing that
and
person,
you might push them away.
push them away. I will be the first to raise my hands, and I will be the first one to admit. I don't know if anybody else is going through this or has experienced this, or you don't want to step forward and say anything, but I'll be the first to admit that I'm a very late bloomer when it comes to understanding and differentiating between a healthy relationship and a toxic relationship. It took your girl some time to kind of figure that out and to come to understand what was right, what was wrong, what I was deserving of, what should be in my life versus what shouldn't be in my life. I
And
spent,
that's in your perspective.
yes,
Because what you may think that is wrong, another person may not.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I
And
had to,
that's why it's important that you say that, why do some people reject true love? And there was also a statement that was made, you want to be loved in the way that you need to be loved. I need to clarify that because some people can love you, but it's not the way that you need to be loved. It's not what is going to truly satisfy you and carry you through the long haul if you're not loved the way that you need to be loved. If someone's way of showing you love is taking care of finances and, you know, gifts and things like that, if that's their way of showing you love, but what you need is affection and cuddling and someone to talk to and all of that, that's your way of being loved. But if they're not capable of giving you the affection and being able to sit down and talk about, hey, listen to my day today. Listen to what happened to me today at work. Listen to what's going on with my girl. You know, me and her had a disagreement and she said this and da da da. Da. Like, if that's what you need, that's what your partner should be should be giving you. So if they're listening to you and understanding what your love languages are and what your needs are, they're going to give you that. And if they're giving you that and you're pushing that away, then baby, you are missing out.
And that, you know what? I really love that. I love the fact that that's one of the things that I enjoy in a relationship. Like
Mhm.
me just being able to be open with you and talk to you about different things.
Right.
I don't just want to talk about business. I
Yes.
sometimes I just don't want to talk about money.
Right.
Sometimes I just want to talk about, like, did you
Yep.
have a crazy day today? Like,
Yes.
tell me the
Yes.
funniest thing that happened to you today.
Right.
It's like I want to vibe on that level as well.
Yeah, like
I don't just want to vibe on what you can do for me and what I can
mhm.
do for you. I
Exactly.
mean, that's you're really not, you're missing the connection with a person when you're just focused about one certain thing and you're not expanding your mind to even try to get to know that person on a whole different level.
Right. And
So
see, I'm talking about like I want to be able
some
to
conversations be like roommate conversations.
yes, yes. No, I want to be able to wake up in the morning and be like, babe, let me tell you about this crazy ass dream I had. Is that weird? What do you think that means? Like, get into it with me. Talk to me
Exactly.
about it. Talk to me about it. Share your thoughts. Give me
But
your
then,
input.
you know what I feel like too, people that have had past trauma, which is a lot of us, it is some people find it real difficult to trust another person.
I'm glad you said
And
that.
yes, so that openness is like they have a block right
Yep.
there,
Yep.
and it's like they can't really get past the block because they don't want to tell you too much because they don't really trust anyone. um and that's not healthy.
It's
That's
not,
not
but
healthy.
it comes from self-preservation because you've experienced the traumas, you've experienced the toxic relationships and all those other things, previously. So
Right.
you've had to do things in order to protect yourself and to protect your peace. And if you put that wall up to kind of protect you and keep you from getting hurt, if you don't let that wall down, then you're not going to be able to let the other person enter and to be able to come in. So what you're saying about trust,
Absolutely.
that's very, very true. And I'm glad you said that. You have to be vulnerable enough to trust in your relationship and in your
And
situation
I
that
feel like if you don't trust that person like that, then you don't need to be with that person. I
exactly.
mean, I'm just being honest. You don't want to be sleeping right next to a person, and you gotta be peeking at night,
Right.
trying to see if they're gonna grab something or
Right.
cover your mouth. Y'all know what I
Right.
mean.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be like that. I don't think that's comfortable to live like that.
It's not comfortable to live
You
like
want to
that.
be able
No.
to be, you want to be able to trust your person. You want to be
Mhm.
able to um jump that hoop of, okay, you're my partner. We're going to have fun together. We're going to
Yes.
love on each other. We're going to make money with each other. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? We have goals. It's a lot more.
It
It's a
is.
lot more than just the basic simple things. And I feel like a lot of people miss that because the other person start feeling like, do this person even really want to be with me?
Yes.
Or they might really want to be with you. They
Yeah.
might love you too. I mean, they might really love you,
Yep.
but they don't know how to express it and they don't know how to receive it. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
That's
So
it.
that is kind of scary. It is.
That's it.
Especially when you're in love and this is the person you want to be with, but you don't know how to continue with the relationship because you gotta like walk on eggshells.
And you
You get what I'm
shouldn't.
saying?
Yeah, I do. And you should never be in a relationship or a situation where you feel like you have to walk on eggshells. You should be able to, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're having a hard time like letting your guard down, letting your walls down, you really need to have a conversation with that person and be like, "Listen,
With
I
yourself
yes,
too,
yourself. Yes,
first.
yourself first, but also
Yeah.
the other person, because I feel like you owe it to yourself, but you also owe it to them to give them, like, hey, heads up, listen, I know that you're not my past. I know that you're not my past situation, but I've been through some things. Please be patient with me. I know that you're trying and you're doing your best, and I appreciate how you love me. I appreciate how you treat me, and I'm going to do my very best to really start releasing those walls and to be able to open up a little bit more. And maybe you can start off by like letting that person, ask you some questions, ask you some things that you could answer so that they can, get to know you more, get to understand who you
And man,
are.
that what Brenna is saying right now, that definitely do not call soft on a man, okay?
Right.
Absolutely not. I think is a beautiful thing for a man to really care about you, for a
Mm-hmm.
man to show his emotions to you. Because
Absolutely.
like I'm that person.
Yep.
Like if you showing me your emotions and you're opening it up to me and I'm really seeing your affection, that's not soft to me.
Not at all.
That's just that's sexy to me.
It's sexy, and it's strength, and it's showing me, that you truly can be a man and you truly can be a partner, because in that sense, the man is also showing his vulnerability. A lot of men, unfortunately, just from history and stereotypes and things like that, think that it is soft for them to be vulnerable or to express their feelings or express their emotions. Like, they don't have to be strong all the time. They don't have to, have a, you know, resting face, that they got it covered and stuff all the time. Men have things that they worry about, or that they might stress over, or they might have fears about, but some of them may not get into it and may not talk about it because they don't want you to look at them differently. It's
Exactly.
not really a different situation.
Absolutely. And I feel like some women have become hard because of that,
Yep.
because they don't see the vulnerability in, you know, some men that they're with.
Right.
They don't see that side. They don't see the soft side. So they'll be like, "Oh, well, let me give him what he give me."
Right. You're giving energy. You
Hardness.
just keep
So and
giving
stuff
them
like that.
energy.
And really and truly, I mean, that can only last for so long
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, men, some men, they're going to get irritated of that. And
Yes.
they're going to be like, oh, like she thinks she a dude or, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that's what you're portraying. Like
Yes.
you don't want to basically accept that you can be open, you can have really true feelings, express them, and you're not going to look weak.
And I think too that there's a dynamic between women and men, especially in this day and age. Women feel like they have to give men a hard time because they don't want to feel like, oh, he just, got me. He just won me over, after no time,
But
after
they don't
nothing,
get
after
that from
whatever.
anywhere,
They don't.
Brenna. Let me
Mm-mm.
just say that.
Yeah.
Those women do not get that from anywhere.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, it was portrayed to them,
Yep.
and that's how they felt like they should treat that person
And it's
because of the
false.
way that, it's a reverse effect.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I feel like then men be like, oh, she just want to be a man and she independent and this, that, and the other. But some man like you really will push a woman to really be hard just like you. And you're not gonna like that.
No, you're not.
Why would you want that male energy when you're a
Mm-mm.
male? I'd
Mm-mm.
rather stay in my feminine energy
Right.
and keep it cute.
Yes, keep it cute. Like I'm in my soft girl era. I'm in my soft girl era. I have no issues with being vulnerable. I have no issues with expressing my emotions. I know that I don't have to put on a brave face all the time, all day, every day. If I'm experiencing something, if I'm going through something, I need to be able to talk about it and I need to be heard. I need to be listened to. And comforted, so I don't want to be the one that has to be strong all the time either. So in that case, I would say if you're a woman that feels like you're in that position where you have to be strong all the time and you can't really express yourself or how you're feeling and all that, surrender to the vulnerability, give into it a little bit, let those walls down and give that love an opportunity to bloom, because there's not too many times that true love and a good healthy love is going to really come around if you keep closing doors and putting up walls and shutting everybody out. I'm not sure. Oh, there she comes.
I'm
All right.
sorry, you
I
guys.
was
They
like,
try to
what
kick me. Look, this happened all the time.
I was like,
Like,
I was expecting it to happen on my end because I'm the one out here with no Wi-Fi and it's thundering and lightning and coming down out here and I got my candles lit. I was expecting me to go out. I'm just on the strength of my cellular service.
sorry. Okay. I also wanted to say, I don't know where you left off, Brenda. I'm sorry.
I was just saying that I think it's okay. Like women have to give themselves the okay, give yourselves permission to surrender to the vulnerability. Let some of those walls down. Let some of those, blocks that you have start
And
taking them
men
down.
too. Men
Take
too.
yes, take down those bricks because there's not too many opportunities that you're going to have in life to find a love or someone that is going to love you in the way that you need to be loved. Yes, there will be
What
other love opportunities, but in the way that you need and the way that really vibes with who you are as a person, you don't want to push that out the door. So surrender to being open.
absolutely.
Surrender
I,
to being open. And it's not a sign of weakness, it's actually a sign of strength,
and
being
I,
able
I
to
I really do
communicate.
feel like is a sign of strength. And I do feel like men and women downplay that. Like
Yep.
it's so romantic, is so it that's where the connection is.
Right.
That's where your connection is. That's where you can actually become closer to your partner. I do also want to
Absolutely.
say that some people don't believe they deserve to be loved
Yep.
because of who they see themselves to be,
Mm-hmm.
or what they believe to be true about themselves.
Right.
They previously have experienced conditional love,
Right.
not unconditional,
Conditional.
conditional love.
Right.
So, and some people are afraid of intimacy,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, afraid of opening up to others. And
Right.
I believe those are things that if we can, like you said, break down those walls and allow that person, your significant other, to be able to be open with you and you don't have to walk on eggshells. Oh my
Woo!
goodness. Because
Gosh.
that raises my blood pressure.
Oh my goodness. And we
I,
definitely don't want that. We definitely don't want no high blood pressure over having to tiptoe and walk on eggshells and, well, let me not say this because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I don't want to upset anybody. You should be able to have a conversation without the other person taking it personally and immediately jumping on the defense. If someone is expressing their feelings to you, you need to just listen. You need to hear them
I
out.
need to do better. I need to do better.
Yeah, I do too. I think we all need to do better. We all
Because
need to
I
do
feel like
better.
sometimes we listen to talk, some of
Mm-hmm.
us,
Yep.
and not necessarily to actually listen what's being said. And then like when somebody that I have to practice, y'all, because this is one of my my downfalls. Okay. Like I have to actually listen, let you get it out, and
Yep.
then I can, and I'm not gonna listen to respond. I have to be
I'm
very careful with
glad
that.
that you said that, listening to respond, because that is a mistake that we all make. Women make it, men make it. The other person is talking, and as they're talking, you're already forming your defense in your mind as to what your rebuttal is going
Exactly.
to be.
And it's
As
not
what your
always a
rebuttal is going to
battle.
be. Yeah, as what your rebuttal is going to be to what they just said. No, just hear them out.
Guilty. Guilty.
Let, same. Same.
So guilty.
Let them say what they need to say, and then when it's your time to talk, then restate what they said, acknowledge what you've heard them say so they know that you got it and not that you were just listening to just respond. That's a terrible and it's a huge mistake, and it's a common mistake that we definitely all need to work on. Listen to
Absolutely.
be
And
listening.
I'm sorry, y'all, but that's one of my things, and I'm not so sure, like I'm still trying to dig
Yeah.
into, like when I be by myself, like I literally try to dig into why I do that so much,
Yep.
because I be feeling like everything is an attack.
Yep.
Everything is not an attack.
It's not.
Sometimes people, you're just giving me feedback, or sometimes
Yep.
you may be calling something out that you see in me,
Right.
but then I'd be like, okay, let me think of something that, but I don't always have to defend myself. I
Right.
think my actions of what I do and what I'm about and what you have seen you can already determine, your own perception about me. I don't feel
Absolutely.
like I have to I have to go on a defense and be like, okay, what you gonna come up with now?
Right.
Like, I'm ready.
Right.
No, like, chill out.
And
Chill.
that comes from us being in fight or flight mode. I mean, we're constantly ready to have to defend ourselves and to have to
Ugh,
protect ourselves.
and
We
that
need
is
to
such
just
a bad thing.
we just need to calm down, chill out. Let's hear this person out. Like maybe
Yeah.
what they're saying isn't gonna be a put down or name calling or something bad about what it is that we're doing or saying or whatever, whatever. They're just giving you a little feedback. They're just giving you a little observation. They're just giving you a little bit of advice. They're just trying to be there for you and help you in a way that, it could be very beneficial. So just shut up and listen. Just shut up
Beneficial to
and
your
listen.
relationship as well, because like I said, you don't want to lose the person that you love. You
Yeah,
don't want to lose them to something that could have easily been fixed. But
absolutely.
because you were not listening, it was not fixed and now
Yep,
it's gone. And then this
yep,
person thinks that you never wanted them, that you never loved them in the first place because you never gave them a chance
yep.
to express themselves. Now, granted, some people don't know how to express emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those people are also rejecting love.
They are.
Um, they could see expressing emotions, like I stated, as a weakness, and they'll shut down when someone shows love and affection. And then, of course, other people reject love because it's their personal belief, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why, but some people, some people may not believe in that, may not believe in love at all.
There are people out there that just don't believe in it. They just don't
Hmm.
believe in it. They don't really care for it. It doesn't really bother them. It's not really a
Hmm.
concern. They're not out there looking for it. They don't really care if it comes their way or not. They're good just where they're at. And if you're one of those people, then that's your choice. I mean, it's your life, so you live it to how you see fit for you to live your best life. But for me, I want a person.
I'm
I,
a lover girl.
yes,
Look,
I want.
like what you call it said the other day. What's her name? Yo Gotti ex Angela.
Oh, Angela
She was
Simmons.
like, "I'm a lover girl. I'm a lover.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a lover girl.
Yep.
I am, but I do struggle with showing emotions sometimes because if I feel like that person's shutting down on me, I'll be like, oh, they probably don't like me.
Right.
So I automatically shut down without knowing that. I mean, with knowing, okay, yes, I do know, but without realizing that they may have something going on
Yeah.
where, you know what I'm saying, it's not like transferring over.
Yeah, I've definitely fallen guilty to the shutdown where, I start hearing things and then all of a sudden my brain is just like doo-doo-doo-doo. It just powers down. And it's like the words are coming out of their mouth. I hear, or my brain is processing words that are coming out
Yes.
of their mouth, but I'm not really paying attention to it and I'm not really giving it um what it deserves by actively listening. I
And
just
when
automatic.
when they tell you, "Hey, are you listening?"
Right, right. Right, and I'll get the
I'm
okay, well,
sorry.
and I'll say, "Oh yeah, I was listening." What I just say? And I can't repeat it. I'd be like, I'm sorry, my bad. I forgot. You weren't listening. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I wasn't listening. So that's my bad.
And some
That's one of
people,
my traits I gotta work on.
we gonna work on it. We gonna work on it. That's why we do these sessions too.
Yeah,
Because we don't trust me, these are things that a lot of people are scared to talk about, but it we could talk about it.
we
It's
can.
real. It's real, and we're not gonna judge ourselves and and
No, no.
this, that, and the other, put ourselves down for different little things that we do. I mean, of course, like I said, we're all human. It happens. It's just, you just have to come to the agreement and an understanding with your partner to be
Yes.
able to overcome all these hurdles because
Yes.
it's a whole lot of them.
It definitely is.
And some people accept the fact that they're just meant to be alone. Some people don't want to be with anyone.
And that saddens me. It saddens me though, I mean, I'm not judging you for by any means. I'm not judging those that make that decision, but it just saddens me for a person to come to that point where they've made that decision that they just not interested, just don't feel like that's what they need in their life. I just think it adds so much. It just makes your life so
It
much
may
brighter.
not. To some
Yeah.
people, that might just be easy to them.
Yeah. And
I
hey,
know somebody actually told me today and was like, "Oh my God, I don't have to worry about other people issues." Some people actually like that.
yeah.
Some people don't have to be in a relationship
They
or
don't.
be in love with somebody or someone
Mhm.
being in love with them. They
Yep.
feel like, they don't want to add any stress to their life. And they feel like relationships are full of stress.
Yep.
That can happen.
That
That happens. That
absolutely
happens.
can happen.
That happens a lot.
Yep.
And it happens to everyone. I
Yep.
believe at some point in our life we go through stress,
Mhm.
whether it is something about ourselves, something with our kids, something with our partner. It's always going to be a thing. But learning how to overcome those times where we are under pressure
Mhm.
and learning to love yourself. Because I do believe strictly that if you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else.
Right.
And I stand on that
Yeah.
because you have to put yourself first. You have to be okay mentally, physically, to be able to have the strength to be able to love someone and give them the same kind of love you give yourself.
Absolutely.
So I think that's very
Absolutely.
important.
Yep. It is.
Yeah. So
Definitely is.
um a lot of people have been suffering from abandonment when they were little. Um,
Yes.
so they find it really hard to get those emotions across when they come into a relationship with someone. So these are emotional walls in place, that they put up to protect themselves, like you stated.
Mhm.
And some people are just too afraid to fall in love, which makes it impossible to maintain meaningful and sincere relationships.
Yeah.
Um, you know, yeah, like I don't agree with that either of people wanting to be with themselves. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. But
Yeah.
I do know that a lot of people, I ask questions.
Yes.
So when you telling me, well, girl, like I'd rather be by myself because I don't, that's just too much. And, I love it here by myself. I
Mhm.
always ask, whoever it is, why? What
Right.
makes you feel like that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they give me their feedback and everything. And I'd be like, okay, I can see that. I can see
Mhm.
that. Um, yeah. So and I know a lot of people too that has become of age and they're alone, and they also have open up to me to tell me that they feel alone.
Yeah.
So you know
I agree.
so
I agree. We got to just, chill out, take a moment, do a little self evaluation, and just take inventory and stock on how we respond to things, how we react to things, how are we doing with our communication, which is something that we should always be working on a regular basis. I like journaling because I like to write out how I'm feeling. And I like to look back on, my week. How was I Monday? How was I Tuesday? How was I Wednesday? How was I Thursday? How was I Friday? What's different about those days? What were
right.
different scenarios and different situations? What's an example of a situation that happened to me and how did I respond to it? How did I react to it? What did I do? And then how did it make me feel afterwards? Having a point of reference and something to go back to is certainly very helpful, especially with you identifying patterns of behavior. When you start noticing patterns of when you get in certain situations and certain things are said or done, you have a standard, reaction and a standard response. To break yourself of that, is something that takes time and it takes practice. And that's what we're here to do. We want to practice. We want to take the time. We want to get better. We want to do better. So we come on here and we share our experiences, talk about things that we've gone through. Maybe some of you can relate to some of those things because everybody has gone through something. Maybe it's not
Exactly.
it's not the same exact thing, but it's something that's relatable and maybe that makes you feel a little more comfortable with saying, "Hey, you know what? I listened to them, have their conversation. You know what? I'm gonna do a better job with, communicating to my person, and I'm gonna do a better job of starting to let my walls down and let my person, get to really understand and get to know me and know that I am recognizing what they're doing to show me that they love me." That's important too. You have to acknowledge that you recognize it.
Absolutely. And thank you all so much. We were gonna leave with that.
On a
For
good
joining
note,
us today.
yep,
And next weekend we will be going live with Brenna. You
that's
have
right.
anything planned for us?
I'm gonna work on it the next couple of days, see
Okay.
what's popping off in the news, or see what I might have on my mind, what maybe I might have journaled
Let me
about.
ask you a question
Yeah,
before we get off Diddy's situation. Do you think Diddy is done?
Diddy is done.
Yeah, I think he's done too.
Diddy is done.
All right, y'all. We will leave with that, and we will be with you all next weekend. I hope everybody have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your
Yes,
weekend. Love on each
yes,
other. Love on your
yes.
family. You never know when you know God is. When we gonna go home. So just
Uh-huh.
love on your people. Like
Exactly.
love them and show them love. That is the most beautiful thing. So
It's
bye
amazing.
bye.
Bye, guys. See you next
Peace
week.
out.
Peace out.